Hi everyone, how are you? Happy Wind Down Wednesday. It feels it feels like it's been a really long time, probably because it has my phone. I got a new phone and it's telling me all this stuff that I should be doing. But we we clicked through all of that. So hey everyone. So how are y'all doing this Wednesday? I Hey Abinino, Taylor Donna, how are you? I'm excited about my package coming in the mail. I can't. Oh, I was scrolling through Instagram, and it's like the post was, "And this notebook will change your life." And I was like, "That's how I feel about all my notebooks from Ebony Notes," and they are each changing my life. Hey, Supernova, how are you? Happy Wind Down Wednesday. I'm happy y'all are all here. Okay, so I'm also trying to like watch on my phone so I can like respond to comments and all that kind of good stuff. Um, and thank you for recognizing the quality. I appreciate that. Somebody gave me so much shade about my old phone when I was trying to take pictures, and I was like, that's fair because my phone is like literally, my old phone was literally like 4 years old. And I kind of messed it up in the pandemic, so that is totally fair. Okay, so today we have the Black Library New York, Douglas and his uh, and his colleague joining us to tell us about this fun and exciting project. So I don't know if y'all can send a request. Um, if not, I can send a request to you. So I'm doing that now. But that's not. Oh, maybe I need to do the Black Library. Black. The Black Library in New York. So hopefully that works.
Okay. Hi.
How are you? Happy Wind Down Wednesday. And I forgot my drink. Can you hear me?
Uh,
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah. Can you hear me or
Okay,
nah?
I can hear you. I can hear
Okay.
you. Um, it, and I can see you pretty much for the most part. So we are gonna we are gonna just like rock with it. I like that idea. So let's start with introductions because usually I get so excited I forget to do introductions. And is it just gonna be you? Your colleague is joining, right? Your co-founder, your co-collaborator.
Um, he's not with me right now. He's kind of busy, like between projects, so it's just me for now.
And that's fine. I was just wanted to be
Yeah.
inclusive, make sure I was holding space for everybody. So yeah, let's start with you introducing yourself and the project and all that good stuff.
Yeah. So my name is Douglas Schindler. Everybody can call me DJ. And I'm a visual artist from New York, from Monticello, New York. Michael is also a visual artist from New York. We're both photographers. I'm also a painter. Um, yeah.
There's so many questions to ask about that, but I'll ask the most basic one because my sense of geography is not great, and I'm very open with that. Where is Monticello, New York?
So Monticello it's about 2 hours from New York City. Um, we're kind of right above the Pennsylvania border. we're actually like really close to both Pennsylvania and New Jersey, like both those borders.
Okay, 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 okay. Got it. 2 hours from New York City, close to the Pennsylvania and New Jersey border.
Yep.
And that's by driving. There's no like path or something that goes out to
Oh no,
Monticello.
just driving,
Just driving.
and
Okay,
a short
okay,
ride
okay.
bus
Got it.
maybe.
Yeah. So and tell us like, is Monticello like Westchester? Is it like Jersey City? Like, what are the references like culturally or however?
Um, Monticello is pretty diverse itself. Um, a lot more rural than Westchester and Jersey City. So it's kind of like it's a little urban, but like also very rural at the same time. It's kind of it is a pretty dynamic place, I would say, and pretty diverse also, especially Monticello.
Okay, fascinating. So I'll ask the people who are watching in the chat, let us know if you've ever been to Monticello. I was born in New York. I was born in Harlem. Um, but yeah, I've never been. I don't think I've heard of it. What's one famous point of reference that everybody should know about Monticello? Like, it's like next time somebody asks, I can be like, but I know this about.
I mean, it got mentioned on the show Seinfeld quite a bit. We used to have a lot of famous hotels where like boxing matches would happen and stuff like that. So um, that was probably like 40, 50 years ago or so. We were popping way back
Okay,
then, but that was before I was born. So
okay, okay. So that's good to know. Seinfeld reference and boxing matches a long time ago. Okay, awesome. So now I feel prepared. So tell us. So you're a visual artist. You're living in Monticello, and then you're like, oh, I want to open a black library. Like, how did that happen?
well, I had a couple years ago, I had started collecting a lot of Black literature, just kind of from my personal collection. And then I had a studio here above the gallery, Gallery 222 in Hurleyville. I had a studio space where I would paint and do photography, and Mike would come and he also photos, or he would just come hang out with the library, just like a black book swap or like book club. And then that evolved into not only being a library, but also being a community art space on top of being a library.
Okay, nice. Um, I wouldn't even know where to begin to open a library. So what was the process?
Well, we had applied for a grant. So this grant came along, Creatives Rebuild New York. It's the artist employment program. So, and the grant is like one or up to 10 artists would get salaried pay to start a project. So I had a bunch of ideas, and the Black Library was one of them. We decided to go with that and apply for the grant with like that way. So that's kind of like how it got started, and we got the grant. Um, and yeah, now we're here getting it started, collecting books and trying to secure a space on our main street in Monticello, and then we'll start programming right away.
That's awesome. So, okay. So that's how. One last question. You had a lot of ideas. Why is it that you ran with the library? I'm happy you ran with the library, but why the library?
And then my follow-up idea is the Black Library. And once I pitched that to Tall, who's like he works at the Hurley Bar Center where I also work. That's kind of how I got a nonprofit because we needed a nonprofit organization to even apply for the grant, and I work at one. So I talked to Tall, who also works at the art center, and he like looks for grants and stuff like that. And he thought it was the grant winning idea, which I guess it was. So yeah.
Oh, awesome, awesome. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Okay. So you're getting books. Um, what do you feel like is working? You're like, yes, I have um books about 1950s travel in Monticello. Like I have that covered. And what are books that you're like, oh, I have like kind of a large hole and I like to fill that.
A large hole that we need to definitely fill is any sort of like fiction books, graphic novels. We're just starting to get some children's books donated to us, but we definitely still need children's books. And art books we have covered now because an artist, Chris Graves, donated like 60 plus books to us, which were all like photo books, which was so great. And then I'm just gonna donate my personal collection of art books as well. So art books we have covered, historical books we have pretty much covered. Um, I would probably say more like individual autobiographies we could get. I think that's a good section to have also, a good genre of books, I mean.
Yeah, that's cool regarding the art books. So that's exciting in history books. And then understanding like the biographies are missing. And you mentioned DJ's fantasy, or fiction, and I was going to make that science fiction fantasy. So you created a registry with Sister Sci-Fi. Tell folks about that. Where's the link? You're actually the first person to create a registry on Sister Sci-Fi. So I'm excited to see how that process was for you and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so we have a link in our Instagram bio for the registry on Sister Sci-Fi, and also on our website. Um, I think we actually got our first purchase today also, which is the book bundle that's up on there,
Oh, I
which
saw
is
that
great.
order and I was like, oh, I wonder. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm definitely happy about that. Hopefully more people um, go to the Sister Sci-Fi registry over the Amazon one, because Amazon, they get enough money. So yeah, so yeah, it's on our website and it's also in our bio. And then people can look up. So to find the registry, I believe you type first name, last name, and I believe it's under my name, which people would search Douglas Schindler to find the registry if they just go on to the sistersci-fi.com.
Oh, really? Oh, that's
Hmm.
awesome. That's awesome. Uh, I did not know that. So that is good to know. Cool. Um, do I have any other questions? Thank you for being my first registry person. That makes me very happy. And I'm excited to support anything Black, particularly a Black library in the great state of New York. Anything else you want to say about the Black Library before I maybe switch to other topics?
Um, Not too much. If anyone wants to donate books, in our Instagram bio, we have links to our Sister Sci-Fi registry as well as our Amazon registry. If anyone local to Monticello or Sullivan County is watching, you can also bring physical donations to the E.B. Crawford Library in Monticello. And we also have an event on July 21st from 4 to 7, which is our opening discussion and Q&A, which will be just kind of introducing the project to the public directly, and also allowing the community to have a say in what we do, give their input on what they think we should do, what we shouldn't do, kind of events they want to see. And yeah.
Awesome. So I'm dropping the link to your website in the chat now. So please hold for folks who want more information. I dropped the Caltech Desk page, which you can navigate to the other sites to find the registries, how to donate, and more information about the event. All of that sounds amazing. Oh yeah, before we go on, so anybody who's in New York or interested in opening a library or just interested in the Black Library Project, now is your chance to drop questions in the chat. I know it looks like I'm doing something else, but I'm actually looking at the chat for questions if you have any. Okay. When I checked, I didn't see any questions. So the real question is, DJ, what are you reading now? DJ? Ooh. It looks like there were some interconnectivity issues. So DJ may have dropped. While we wait for him to rejoin, I'll tell you what I'm reading now. I'm slowly reading The Final Strife. It is 500 pages, so I might be reading it for the rest of the year, the way that I read. But I'm really excited. So it is a fantasy book, but it harkens a lot to like Ghanaian fantasy. Both of my parents are from Ghana, so that made me very happy. And it's queer AF, so that also makes me really happy. So I think for the past couple years in reading YA West African fantasy, I kind of like resigned myself to the fact that it'll be relatively heteronormative. But this is super queer, so I'm here for it. I'm a little worried. I'm on chapter 4. I'm a little worried about the main character. And I'm hoping she pulls through. But yeah, I'm into it. I'm vested, and I will read all 500 pages. So yeah, you can also let me know while we wait for DJ to come back. What are you reading? Let me know. I want to know. I'm interested. I won't lie and say I'll read everything that you say that you're reading, but I do want to know that you're reading. My to be read list gives me a lot of stress. So I'm trying to be gentle with myself. Okay. TJ is back. So I'm looking. So DJ, I just sent you an invitation, so you should see that momentarily. Awesome.
Okay, there we go. Sorry about that.
No problem. And so while you're around, I was just asking people what they're reading. Oh, I see. Love to be Creative is reading The Memory Librarian, and Ancestral Thickums, I love that handle, is reading Fever Star, which is something I was supposed to read. I told you my to be read list gives me a lot of stress. For a book club discussion, and I did not read it and was not prepared for the book club discussion, but I will read it. Awesome. What are you reading, Douglas? So the question is Douglas reconnecting or he's gone? And I guess the answer is he's gone. Internet connectivity, it can be interesting out here in these streets. So yeah, so I will go ahead and for the person who read Love to be Creative, I really enjoyed The Memory Librarian. The stories definitely made me think. I definitely feel like Sistah Scifi should organize a book club discussion about it. And my ability to organize anything is kind of not that great. So if anybody wants to help me organize a book club discussion about The Memory Librarian, I would greatly appreciate you. So just shoot me a DM on Instagram if you feel like helping me organize a couple book clubs by the end of this year. But primarily, I'm going to focus on The Memory Librarian. Hey, you're back.
Hey, okay, I think I'm here.
Yeah, I mean, There's no worries and there's no pressure. Like, we just got our Mercury in retrograde, so it's fine.
All right. Thanks for being patient because the internet is acting up just a little bit here.
Just a wee bit. Oh, somebody was like, DJ lives in the mountains. Internet is weak. Is that true?
Yeah, just it. Yeah.
Okay, okay. I was like, who's Tallberry? Like, let me tell you what the internet reception is. I was like, okay, I don't know. But okay, yeah, I totally get it. Um, okay. So DJ, what are you currently reading?
I actually just finished The Alchemist last night. I was up until like
Ooh,
4:30 reading.
nice. What did I mean?
Yeah.
Since
Um,
you're up to 4:30, I'm assuming you enjoyed it. So what did you enjoy about it?
I enjoyed pretty much everything about it. It feels like every page there's just like a great message to be read, um, and something that can be used for my own life or anybody who's reading like their own life. You know what I mean? There's just so much you can gain personally just from reading that book. So I'll definitely read it again. Um, and then it's also been a long time since I read a fiction book. So that's the first fiction book that I've read in probably like 16 years.
Wow, that is a long time. You haven't so yeah, I feel like I've read The Alchemist, but I feel like I could also be making that up, but I am dropping the link in the chat in case you're interested. Please. Done. Okay. But yeah, also then the next question is rereading books. I think I've reread maybe 5 books in my whole life. I'm like, I read it, I'm done, on to the next. So, but it sounds like you have a practice around rereading books. Um, yeah, so Latrice, also going back to The Alchemist, says, such a good book. Oh, wait, I think you're talking about The Alchemist. Such a good book. Somebody else is reading The Twilight World, which I haven't read. Anyway, so what is your practice around rereading books and how do you decide what to reread and when?
I actually don't reread too often. The last book that I reread was probably A Child Called It, which was that was a while ago. Honestly, the majority of the rereading that I do is just me dropping a book for like a week or two and then coming back and then just rereading the chapters that I might have forgotten. Um, like when I was reading Live from Death Row by Mumi Abu Jamal, and I
Mm.
reread those chapters so many times because I just kept dropping it and then coming back, especially with school because I like just graduated, so I was having to make a lot of paintings and photographs. So I just kept dropping the book and then picking it back up.
Now that makes perfect sense, and that is definitely like a book that you want to continue to have the context and reread. Um, so yeah, Latrice also agrees with a Child Called It is another great book. Um, MXSM dropped All About Love by Bell Hooks in the chat. So like Half the World, I read it last year, but for me it was the first time, and I was like, some of it was really insightful. Like the definition of love that Hooks brings in, just this sounds so cheesy, but literally changed my life. So yeah, what's a book that changed your life, DJ?
A book that changed my life. Hmm. I mean, I would say, in a way, I would say Live from Death Row is one. It didn't really, I mean, it definitely opened my eyes to certain things that I didn't know about prison. So my dad was in prison several times throughout my life. So I kind of already knew a lot about what happens inside prison. But so I'm biracial. My dad is white and my mother is black. Um, so he's giving a very white perspective on what prison is like. And so reading it from a different perspective, from Mumi Abu Jamal's perspective, is definitely eye-opening and life-changing, especially since he's on death row. So there's just so much to gather from that book. Um, and it definitely changed my life in so many ways.
I think I'm processing that. Um, that the experience in prison can be drastically different based off of your race.
Yeah.
And it's not like that's a new sentiment, but I guess like it could be like drastically different because I think in my mind it's like prison is prison and it just is not a fun place to be, right? So what were some of the differences that you attributed to race as opposed to like Mia being on death row versus other situations?
I would say, and this is something that's well, Mumia was in prison in Pennsylvania, my dad in New York, and it's that alone is a huge difference. But just them putting him in solitary confinement because he wouldn't cut his dreads. Um, and then my dad, he grew his hair and his beard out, and he just claimed that he was Jewish to make them like allow him to have keep his hair. I mean. Um, And Mumia in the book talks about how everybody that was in solitary, they would have a much smaller, like fenced in area during yard time, and their yard time was shorter. And he was talking about how almost everyone in the solitary confinement section was black, and then almost everyone on the outside in the bigger yard area was white. Um, and then also in the book, Mumia talks about how much worse like the beatings are and stuff like that, and just how different the guards treat black inmates versus white inmates. Yo,
Got it.
Mike is
That's
here now.
insane. Yeah, it sounds like Mike showed up. Hey, Mike. While Mike gets situated, I just want to say greetings to Akashic Books. Akashic Books is the publisher for one of my favorite books that I sell on the site, Unkindness of Ghost. And Akashic, I don't know who on the team is on here. I'm assuming it's a social media manager for online with the Black Library New York. They're fundraising for books. So Akashic, if you're looking for a place to send extra books, the Black Library New York is the place. So I just want to put that out there. And if you have questions, feel free to research to the Black Library. If you need their information, shoot me an email and I'll happily connect the two of y'all. Okay, so that's my PSA and note to Akashic Books who just joined. Michael, perfect timing. Please introduce yourself. How did you end up working with DJ, and what book are you currently reading?
My name is Michael Davis. I am one half of the lead of the Black Library Project here in Sullivan County. DJ and I go back almost a decade now. We met in school during the graphic design program here at SUNY Sullivan. And we've been close and constant collaborators since then and have been working more on a public level as of the last year or two. And as you can see, that's been developing and growing fast.
Yay, that's awesome. Um, what works about your collaboration? What is it that you like when you think about working with each other, your heart just kind of like glows? And what is it that you like? Now I'm just trying to cause drama, but what is it that sometimes you like? If DJ does this one more time, we may not be friends anymore. And you don't have to answer the second question if you don't want to, but yeah. But let's focus on the first question.
To be completely honest, and this isn't sugarcoating things in any way, shape, or form, like we have not had any sort of real road bumps. Aside from things like my tardiness, I'm the one to blame, if anything. Yeah, DJ is super capable, extremely on top of things. Yeah, I couldn't ask for a better partner in this right now, to be completely honest. And it's not because the guy's standing next to me. I'd say if he wasn't here. We've been, seamless as far as some of these collaborations go, and things. I think that's why it's been working so well, just because we have such a close relationship on and off the professional side. But he's easy to work with, he's easy to talk to, and he's a very straightforward. We need this done, he gets it done kind of guy. So there's no way you can't work well with someone like that, in my opinion.
Yay, that's awesome. I think I'm gonna ask for a huge favor. If y'all can experiment with turning your phone horizontally,
Oh yeah,
because
that.
I think it allows us to see more of both of y'all's faces. No, that's a bad idea. Okay, let's maybe if like y'all staggered. Yeah, this is perfect. Yay! Okay, great, great, great. I just want to make sure, like, as we take snippets and post them on social, we have like stuff with both of y'all's faces in there. So yeah, staggered is perfection. Okay. Okay. DJ, for you the same question. What like makes your heart glow when you think about working with Michael?
I think that the thing that I lack in, I think he completely makes up for.
Did you do something with the mic? I can't hear you.
Oh no, I don't think. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Um, I was just saying, I feel like where I have weaknesses, he picks up, and I feel like we work really well that way. Actually, I feel like we, as a duo, don't really have any weaknesses. Um, and like Mike was saying, he's extremely easy to work with. So I mean, I feel like I would just be echoing the same sentiments. You know what I mean? So
That's awesome. Oh, that makes me feel so happy. Um, So, Mike, I just finished asking DJ what he was reading. What you reading right now?
What am I reading right now?
Mm-hmm.
To be
Or what
completely
did you just finish reading?
honest, I'm currently in the middle of a Robert Greene novel. I think it's his latest one, if I'm not mistaken, The Daily Laws. Um, I've been into Robert Greene and Ryan Holiday and their teachings. I think Ryan Holiday's book, Talking to Strangers, is a really good example of where we are socially in modern day times, as far as the whole ideology behind it, and that simulacrum that is kind of holding everything um, in place, and that we kind of model after, and the explanation behind certain tactics and behaviors that are used today, like by the police. They use a lot of examples from CIA cases and things like that. I think that book was really interesting. Talking to Strangers by Malcolm Gladwell. Excuse me, I said Ryan Holiday before. Malcolm Gladwell. Um,
Oh, okay. And
right,
I heard something completely different.
right,
Okay,
right.
okay, okay. Oh, okay. Michael Cloud, that makes a whole lot more, Malcolm Cloud makes a whole lot more sense. And I'm glad because I was about to post the wrong book
Yeah, I'm
in
so
the
sorry.
chat.
Yeah,
No,
I should correct that.
no, you're good, you're good. It just would have been kind of like people would have been like, what is this like? Talking to strangers
Yeah, I said Ryan Holiday
and
because he was a pupil of Robert Greene, and I just went off on that tangent there. But the author of Talking to Strangers, I believe, was Malcolm Gladwell.
yes, okay. So let me drop that in the chat. Uh, so now that I have you both here, what are some of your goals for the library? Yes.
or
We can split that, I guess.
yeah. So one of our biggest goals is to just create um, a path of success, because Monticello and Sullivan County is such a, it can be such a depressive area because there's not really a whole lot to do here, which is why it's so important for us to be doing this project, to bring something to Sullivan County where people can come be creative, be collaborative, um, read, and just, so we will have like artist talks, workshops, educational workshops, artist workshops, studio spaces for artists so that artists can come and actually have a space to work. A lot of people don't have a space to work, myself included now. I don't have a studio space any longer. Um, and yeah, just community-based events in general. Like, we want to have block parties, we want to have barbecues, because we don't have that here. We're going to have like backpack events where we give people give kids backpacks with school supplies and art supplies and stuff. Um, yeah, I don't know if you want to add anything.
Yeah, we have a lot of specifics involved as far as community outreach, and then some artists that we have on the list that we're going to be reaching out to. Some that we already did, as far as artist talks and getting workshops started, some paint and sips and things like that for, you know, some of the older generation that we can kind of, you know, get weaned in on that, because, you know, my mom loves that stuff. So that's definitely something I'd like to put on for the town. But yeah, overall, we just like to create a safe and creative and collaborative atmosphere for the people of our town, the people that look like us, that are sometimes shorted on opportunity, and create a space that can provide knowledge that isn't necessarily highlighted in the standard New York State curriculum. All of this history and all of these facts that are completely overlooked or, you know, swept under the rug about our people that I feel are important, that was left out. You know, I went through 12 years of schooling and graduated, and then started learning on my own after school, and was like, whoa, where was this? You know, so I don't want kids to have that experience. I want them to know and to be able to challenge some of the things that they're taught in classrooms. So I think that's important to us as well.
I love that. And I love the idea of libraries being a launch pad for opportunities, because that's what libraries should be like, for learning, for reading, for creativity, and ultimately all that connects you to opportunities. And particularly doing it in a lens that's accessible for like Black and brown people. I'm going to add queer people and women because I always do. So yeah, that's really exciting. So for the people watching, I'll pause here. Like, I want to make sure y'all feel included in the conversation. So just drop in the chat, what are your favorite libraries? I'll start. My favorite, I don't know if it counts as a library, but it's probably the Schomburg in Harlem. Probably because it's like down the street from where I was born. And like the Schomburg is just like, it's a beautiful space. So that's probably my favorite library. What about for the two of y'all? Before you opened the Black Library in New York, what was your favorite library?
Well, the local library here in Monticello, the E.B. Crawford, who's also been a huge help to us so far getting off the ground. They've been providing us a space to meet, as well as a drop-off location for anybody that wanted to donate books. So they've been a huge help, and they've always been the library that, you know, I remember my mom taking me to when I was a kid, and I continued to go to. Then there was a rough patch in which they went through a redevelopment. They moved locations down Broadway, but you know, I remember the first time that I walked in there after the redevelopment, and I was just in shock that that kind of, you know, resource was available to us in a public manner, and even more shocked that not everybody was utilizing it the way that they should have. But you know, that's changed since then. But yeah, so that's always been a library that's, you know, resonated with me.
Yeah. Yeah, that library, of course. I mean, back when they were at the old location, that was like one of the first times I ever used a computer. So I just remember walking through that library and taking out books and stuff. And then in the new location, I've checked out a few books, and I love that space also. It's just like, it is a wonderful space in its redesign. I also used to love this library in Albany. I don't remember what it was called, but I was like 10, and I used to check out books from this library in Albany all the time, as well as the library at SUNY Purchase. Not just because I went to school there, but they had a huge music collection, so I'll be in the library all the time, just listening to music and like studying music, which I think is another thing that we want to do, is have a music collection as part of this library.
Yeah, we're definitely starting.
I love it.
Collections.
When I was like, oh, I can check out like music and like TV and stuff like that from the library, like either through apps or whatever, that like changed my life. Gariel, I know I'm mispronouncing that, so I apologize in advance. Their favorite public library is the New York Public Library in Midtown. So I agree with that. Excellent choices all around. Oh, I'm like, can't think of anything. I was like, wait, what? What's the next question? What's the next statement? Um, oh yeah. So you talked about your date where you'll kind of formally introduce yourself to the community. But when will the Black Library open?
So we're working on like solidifying a space right now, securing a space. We really, really want to have a space locked down and ready to be opened in September, um, which is like right around the corner. But that's like the ideal thing is to get a location secured and running as soon as possible. So we're tentatively looking at September.
Yay! No, that is super close and super exciting. And also really timely. It's like back to school, it's the fall, people are looking like for spaces to read and like not be outside, but maybe not necessarily be home. So
Right.
that makes perfect sense to me. The little I know about opening a library. So yeah. What digital resources will you be able to provide as a new library? How does it? I don't even know how that works.
What was that? What?
Digital resources?
Oh, digital resources. We were just talking about
Yeah.
Kindles, yeah.
Ironically enough, it is Prime Day, and we will be purchasing and providing a number of Kindles um, that will be available as a digital option for reading for those who, you know, really aren't comfortable with the old school method like we are. But also it has a, you know, a broad and fast access to a wider range of titles at an, you know, instant level. So I think that that's going to definitely come in handy as far as, you know, database and looking up and, you know, accessing titles, you know, faster than Amazon can actually get the book to your doorstep. So that's probably where we're going to start with that. And really, we wanted to have a bit more of a hands-on and old school feel to it. So we haven't really spoken a whole lot about the digital aspect of it because we wanted to kind of be a place where you can go and focus and you can go and think about, you know, creations and creativity and, you know, kind of be one with the atmosphere. So we do want it to have kind of like an old school feel, like, you know, what we're more used to or what we were accustomed to growing up. So we're gonna have to meet that halfway creatively outside of the Kindles, but yeah, we're working on that now.
Yay. So do y'all consider yourselves librarians now?
I'm sorry.
Do you consider yourselves librarians now? Because
Oh,
DJ, when you introduce yourself, you're like, I'm a visual artist, but now you run a library. So does that make you a librarian? Or are you a visual artist that runs a library?
I don't know if I have the experience to call myself a librarian.
um, we are men of many hats. Renaissance men.
Yeah, Renaissance man. I'm here for it.
Renaissance men, if you will. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we will be soon. We will be full-fledged librarians soon, and I will be proud to say that, I think.
Yay. Yay. One of the most popular Sister Sci-Fi posts is that there was a black Spider Woman and she was a black librarian. And I think she was based out of Harlem. Y'all probably know. But yeah, so y'all, if y'all decide to take on the title of librarian, y'all will be in great company.
Oh,
So awesome. Okay, now with 15 minutes remaining is my favorite segment of any Wind Down Wednesday, this or that. So the way this or that works is that it's rapid fire. So y'all choose whatever resonates with you the most out of two options, which I'll give you. And y'all, honestly, y'all don't have to lie. Y'all don't have to have the same answer. For those of you watching, feel free to chat your choice in the comments. So the first, this or that, Black Lightning or Luke Cage?
Luke Cage. I'm going with Luke Cage. It's not going to take me long to think about that.
I'll probably have to go with Luke Cage too, honestly.
You went with Luke Cage too?
Yeah.
Oh, this is so fascinating. I always go with Black Lightning, but I understand why people choose Luke Cage, but that's me. Okay, so next question. Eartha Kitt Catwoman or Halle Berry Catwoman?
I think wait.
What
I'm,
was the first one?
Eartha Kitt?
Eartha Kitt or Halle Berry?
I honestly think I only seen Halle Berry as Catwoman.
So Eartha Kitt was
Okay.
definitely like iconic, and I feel like Halle tried to channel a lot of that in her role. But I'm a Halle Berry fan, so I'm not gonna sit here and play around and say that it's not Halle Berry.
This is I'm creating space for your response. Yo, this is the first time like Eartha Kitt wasn't like the immediate answer, and I'm creating space for that response. So I'm happy for you. Um, next one. Janelle Monáe or Erica Badu?
Who or who? Did you say Janelle Monáe or
Janelle
Erykah Badu?
Monáe or Erica Badu?
I'm going Erica.
I'm definitely going Erica as well. I love Janelle, and I have a profound respect for her as well as her backstory and all of her accomplishments. But Erica's Erica, and I grew up with Erica. That's the Erica we know and love. So I'm going to go with Erica.
Okay, I'm here for it. And Gallery 2022 also agrees with Holly, so maybe it's a Monticello thing. So, what was Sugar Shack? What was my next one? It was um Andre 3000 or Childish Gambino.
Andre 3000.
Andre, 3 stacks.
It wasn't too many names you could put next to that one where I would
Like,
I was going
who's
to do
that?
the rude thing and just cut you off and say Andre before you said
Just like,
but yeah, Andre 3000 for sure.
okay.
love Andre.
And now going back to movies. Um, mm, which do I want to go? Space is a Place or Neptune Frost? And you could be like, I haven't watched either, so I can't.
I haven't seen either of those.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
I do too.
So, I haven't watched Space is a Place either, but by Sun Ra, but very like emblematic of Afrofuturism, even before Afrofuturism was the thing. And Neptune Frost is by why am I blanking on his name? But that just made it to movie theaters. So yeah. So if you have an opportunity to watch it, you should watch it.
I'm definitely going to.
No,
I
for
was
sure.
actually talking about Spaces Place just recently again too.
Did you say Sun Ra?
Yeah. Yeah, Sun Ra.
I didn't know that he directed. I thought he only made music.
Yeah, I mean, so he directed and was in Space is a Place. So,
Oh, okay.
let me drop that in the comments. I don't know how, like, I think it's streaming somewhere. Space is the Place. And it's fun facts that you know when you spend all day thinking about Afrofuturism. Choo, 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 choo.
Maybe,
Choo, choo, choo.
I don't know the exact date though. That the Afrofuturism Festival here.
Yeah. Sure we can.
There's an Afrofuturism Festival?
Yeah. That'll be put on by the Hurleyville Performing Arts Center in August. Off the top of my head, I can't think of the date. Maybe if you want to pull it up real quick so that we could at least plug that before the end.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think I can Google it. Do.
I want to say it's around the 12th or 13th, but I don't want to put the date out there before we solidify it.
Hurley. I think I'm spelling Hurleyville, but
Hold on, gallery.
oh no.
We're in the chat, so help us out.
Yeah, Gal.
Yeah, if you know the dates or have the link and you're in the chat, please feel free to drop it. No. Okay. Nope. Because whenever I Google it. I keep getting the Carnegie Hall Festival.
Mm. Oh, they said August 13th for our African
Okay,
American Festival. Yep.
great. And Gallery 222, if you can drop in the link so people can register and get more information, that would be fantastic.
It's exactly a month away.
It is
Because,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
Say it one more time.
I said it is one month away exactly.
I know, right? I'm like, wow. I was like, when you said August, I was like, oh, I guess we're talking about August 2023. And I was like, no, August is not passed yet. That's August this year. Time is doing funny things with me. So yeah. Yeah. So with the remaining time, anything that y'all want to talk about, share, process, questions that you have for people watching on the chat?
Can plug the event again? That would be the best.
Yeah, I mean we can plug our events again, which is July 21st is our opening discussion and Q&A, where we'll just be introducing the project to the community and having the community or giving the community the chance to give their input directly to us, because we'll both be here to hear everything that the community has to say. And then we have our book drive, of course, which is still going on, where we have a registry through Sistah Sci-Fi and Amazon as well. What else we got going on?
Drop off location point at E.B. Crawford,
Mm-hmm.
in case anybody wants to donate there, and the links in our bios as well.
Yeah.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Gallery 222, Hurleyville dropped in a link, and I think that's the link to the Afrofuturism Festival. So if you're looking for that. Oh, and the gallery show will feature Tim Felder, who I have, you can it's like just a little bit off camera, but I have worked by him on my shelf. He's been on Wind Down Wednesday a couple of times. So Tim is awesome.
We also have the show still up.
Oh yeah, yeah. The pictures that are in the background actually are our work, along with the work of another artist from Monticello, Tyler Sanford. So yeah, the show that's up here in the gallery. We're in Gallery 222 right now, and our show is up.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Yay. So if I'm ever, so Hurleyville is close to Monticello, or is that a neighborhood of, okay.
It's about 7 minutes
Okay.
away, 10 minutes maybe.
Oh,
Okay. What you driven 2 hours from New York. Got it.
right.
Yep.
Yeah. I was about to say, yeah, if I'm ever out there, anything can happen. Yeah, if I'm ever out there, I know to go to Gallery 222 and check out the Black Library. I'm excited.
We're excited.
So yeah.
Oh, I'll ask, show us some around the gallery. I mean, we could show.
Yeah,
some.
please. Yeah.
Go for a tour.
Let me just slip my shoes back. Took my shoes off. I got a little comfortable, you know.
Yeah, I got real comfortable.
So I guess I'll just start where we were sitting. Where we're sitting, we had these photos up. So these two are both mine. These mailboxes are in Monticello, and this is in Jeffersonville, which is the western part of the county. Coming over here, these two are Michael's, which one is in Monticello. The top one is in Swan Lake, right?
Swan Lake, right.
The top one is in Swan Lake. That one is also in Swan Lake. This is in Monticello. This is one of the old hotels. I actually used to live here when I was a kid.
Oh.
So yeah.
So what is it now?
This is what it looks like now.
Yeah. That photo was taken.
But is it in use now, or is it just kind of hanging out?
No, it's just all boarded up. I can zoom in here.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all boarded up and such.
It was a bit of a shortcoming for a while, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah. These are the Sullivan County Jail, 2 photos. So the show is about our area, about Sullivan County.
and the people within Sullivan County. So we have a lot of like dilapidated buildings and things around the county, but then we have like very beautiful portraits of people to
Yes.
act as like a foil to the rundown buildings and such. So it's a very nice contrast with having the portraits of people and then like the broken down buildings and whatnot. This is actually my mom. Shouts out to mom.
I like that outfit. I'm just like, yeah, where can I get that suit? So that outfit is giving me all the life.
These are Tyler's photos right here. He's not here right now, of course.
Okay.
And then these also are Tyler's. Okay. Swap over to the other. Oh, there's one in the center here. That's
Oh.
Tyler's. And then we have more on this side. Yeah, the show is called The Day I Went Home. And it's just all about showing what the county is really like, a really raw look on the county. Because a lot of photographers do a really glamorized perspective of what the county is like, because we do have so many scenic and beautiful areas. But a lot of our county is stuff like this pull door, a lot of like shut down buildings or run down buildings. And this is my dad. Shouts out to Dad.
See, Dad?
Yeah, these three.
Show them the thrift shop.
So
Is this the thrift shop?
the thrift shop is through that door. It kind of looks a little haunting right now with the lights off.
Okay. I'm just reading the comments. So,
Yeah,
oh, that's a cool picture.
this one here, yeah. Yeah, I took this one. This one is my photo. I took it. I had just hopped up on the street on Broadway. I was kind of just taking pictures, and he had asked me for a couple dollars. So I was like, "Oh, I got you with a couple dollars. Just let me take your picture real quick." And that's kind of how this photo came about.
Yeah, it's very like a spin on like,
This guy.
you know, the black man in the hoodie. He's like very unapologetically black, but not in full frame. So I like the message that it's given. So yeah,
And then we have.
it's a beautiful space.
It is. It's very nice in here, yeah. So we have so much work up in here. There's probably like 50 photographs or so. We have 4. These are all Michael's also. These 4 right here, which act kind of like as a series within itself.
Oh, I love the black and white. Those are riveting.
Yeah. And that back there, I don't want to get too close over here because this is where my connection was messing up before.
Oh, okay. Okay. So stay in the connection.
Yeah. And these are the last 3 in this corner here. But that Broadway building, that's the Broadway Theater, which is like the biggest, kind of most known building on Broadway in Monticello.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So much of the work is in Monticello, and a lot of the people are Monticello natives, or I think all of them are Sullivan County natives. So. Yeah.
Yay. I just have to add this comment. So it was dropped in the chat. Broadway Gallery 222 is open Fridays through Saturdays through July, or by appointment. So if you happen to be in the area, you can check out Gallery 222. Yay. Well, this was lovely. This was such a treat for me. Hopefully you enjoyed it as well. Definitely tag Sistah Sci-Fi in any social media post about the library, about events, about the book drive. Yeah, I'm really excited to see like what the final space would be like and when it's opened. If you do a virtual opening, I'll be there with bells on. So yeah, I'm proud of you guys for whatever that's worth.
Thank you. We really appreciate it, and really appreciate you for giving us this platform to tell everyone about the library and about our home, because we also just talked so much about our home. So yeah.
Yeah, of course, of course. Thank you so much for the work that you're doing. Have a great evening, get some rest, and you can jump back in it tomorrow.
Thank
All right.
you.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Good night. Appreciate you.
Mhm.